there we go. You were fully connected to my headphones, so that's why. It's so nice to meet you. How are you doing
I'm
today?
doing pretty good. How about yourself? How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing
That's
good.
good. That's
So
good.
hello everybody and welcome. Today we are interviewing LaTaryion Perry. It is so nice to meet you. And I know our normal guests are normally, music artists, but I have been really looking forward to this because you are an actor, an AD, a director, and I'm a film student from Columbia. So they kind of did this for me. So thank you for joining today.
Yes.
I'm really excited for this interview today.
Well, I'm really excited to answer any questions. I really love giving gems to different people that really wants to become a filmmaker because I originated as an actor. So I became a filmmaker be after being an actor first. So it was like I really was drawn to it. Also, it's LaTaryion Perry, LT for short.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to start off with how would you like to introduce yourself to our audience? You kind of did a little bit, but I didn't know if you wanted to say a few more words.
Well, so my main thing is now I'm getting more into producing, but I also do stunts as well. So from acting, I went on to stunts. After stunts, I went on to being a PA and worked my way up from a PA, did like 300 plus, 600 plus hours. And then I became an AD, second, first, and then I became a producer and then an EP. I also do a lot of nonprofit work, so I like to, through my nonprofit that I have, I like to give opportunities and jobs and grants and things of that sort to other people that come from the less fortunate communities or that just really wants to get started in this entertainment industry but don't know how, like don't know where. Because even though I work in film entertainment in general, I do so much with it. Like I used to be a background dancer before, so like I have connections in other areas as well. So I like to like pretty much call myself like a connector overall.
Yeah, fantastic. I love how you wear many different hats.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I have a question later that gets into that, but as of right now, how would you describe yourself in just 3 words?
Fun, stern, but relaxed.
Perfect. I wanted to start off about talking about like what about Chicago inspires you.
The skylines, um, just visually looking at Chicago from the outside, it is just it's beautiful. The talent that we have here is just like crazy. I didn't been to so many other places, and the talent here in the Midwest just exceeds anywhere else. But yeah, just like our food, number one. That's number one.
Yeah.
Everywhere I didn't been, nowhere else has the food like Chicago. Like
Mm-hmm.
we just got it here. But outside of that, yeah, just the skylines and looking at it visually is just beautifully aesthetic. Like the aesthetic is just like beautifully pleasing. So I really, really love it, especially for film. I love shutting down a street somewhere and filming. I love it.
Yeah, it's such a cinematic city too. Like it's right up there with New York in my opinion.
Hmm.
And I like recently got in an argument with my roommate because I'm from New Jersey and she's like from Milwaukee and she was like, "No, I think we've beat New York now, Chicago with the prettiest skyline." And I'm
Yeah,
like, "Yes."
we got it beat. We most definitely got it beat. Especially it, you can see it from different areas, different directions, and don't come you taking Lakeshore Drive. It's beautiful. So yeah, the Midwest, y'all know we showing out. We got it here. We got it. The skylines. We got it. New York, y'all alright though.
No,
Y'all
we've got
alright.
all these silly little buildings now. Like we used to have it, and now we have like little like pin-sized buildings that are like, oh, anyway. So you have worked on many different projects from like acting to doing stunts and to also like executive producing, ADing. Can you share with us like one of your favorite projects that you've worked on?
uh so I just worked on a project in New Mexico called Trap House with Dave Bautista. It's in post production right now. So That was really, really fun. I can't say too much about it, but what I can say is I got to like, I was doing a stunt and we were like high up in these mountains, like super, super high up where they're building the new Netflix office, the new Netflix studios out there in New Mexico. And we're like high up in these mountains. There's nowhere, nothing near us. So we like have to go all the way up there for filming, and that's where base camp and everything is. So we get there, and then they're like, okay, so you're gonna be, these doors are gonna bust open, and then you're gonna be standing right here, and then you got to do this, that, and the third. And so that was one of the fun ones. But something that I can talk about is a project that I actually just wrapped. It's called Big Steps. I was the producer for it, the EP, and the first AD for it.
Wow.
So for anyone that doesn't know what AD means, it stands for assistant director. So I was the first assistant director for it, and we just wrapped. But that one was really fun. So pretty much, it's about the Asian community and the guy. He's sick of his mundane life, and so he has fantasy versus realism. And so when he's in the fantasy state, he sees Bigfoot. So we got to like create this big, huge, like Bigfoot thing. I'll post some BTS on my
Yes.
story so I'll see it after. So that was another fun one. That was a really good one. And I got to work with Harry Lennox before on a project that was actually here in Chicago. That one was really fun as well because I grew up watching him. So it was like, oh wow, this is Harry Lennox.
That's fantastic. I kind of want to go, back to your beginnings and like how did you first get into acting?
I became an extra.
Mhm.
I was still in high school, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sick of being a background dancer. I want to do more. I want to be like a Taraji P Henson or someone. Like I want to be bigger. I want to be better." So I ended up becoming an extra, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." I seen myself on TV. I was an extra on Empire. And I was like, oh my gosh, I seen myself on TV. Like, oh, this is what I want to do. Mom, I made it. I made it. And then I was like, oh, so wait, there's more to it. I can
Mhm.
actually do more. And pretty much it all became a blessing pretty much all out of the blue. I started taking lessons and then I was like, I couldn't afford it all the time. So I pretty much started just looking it up on YouTube, looking up different things on Google, like how to get started with acting classes, free acting classes. And there's a lady named Wendy Elaine Wright. She's out of LA, and I actually got to meet her years later. But she's a manager, but she started posting free classes and things on YouTube. I recommend everyone go if you want to become an actor or whatever. Please go view her YouTube is under Wendy Elaine Wright. She helped me so much before I could be able to afford it, and then actually when I was able to afford it, she actually does this full time, and she her classes inspired me. And then one day, I was walking back to set from being an extra on Empire, and out of the blue, uh, the Shy. This was their very, very first season filming, and the first AD. She came downstairs. She was like, "Hey, you're really young." I was like, "Yeah." Her name is Ellie.
Mhm.
She was like, you want to be an actor? Like, what do you do?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm an actor. I'm an actor." Like, yes, I was very confident when I was saying it. She was like, "Okay, so here, here's these lines, and then hold on." And then Jacob Lattimore came around the corner, and I was like, "Oh my God, this
Yeah.
Jacob Lattimore. Like, I know you. I seen you in Black Nativity. You was singing with Jennifer Hudson, you know." And so I was like really amazed. And then he came around the corner and like we acted out a scene. And she was like, okay, so you can act a little bit, dip it down a little bit. I was really dramatic when I was first getting started, very extra with the acting. And I was trying to act. So she like gave me a little lessons, and still to this day, she still helps me out. But pretty much from that point, the very next day, she got my contact information. Jacob Matt Lattimore took my charger that day as well. And now look at us 7 years later, we still work together, still really close friends. But yeah, Ellie, she pretty much got me my very first role on The Shy, and she got me with an agent. It was her sister, and then yeah, I just did not stop working since then, and ever since then, now I'm a producer, and she helped me with AD. She's taken one of my projects to help me get distribution. So still to this day, she's like a blessing that was in disguise out of the blue. So I always tell people, you never know. Get started as an extra if you really want to do this. If you don't know where you want to do it, every time when I was an extra, I always took everything in so that I can take everything in that the director's saying, the DP's saying. Who is a DP? Like, what is a DP? I didn't know it was like five different directors on a set. I was like, wow, what is this?
I think that's fantastic. I have so many friends, especially, from Columbia, my college, that they're extras on, Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. And to me, it's like being an extra is one of like the greatest things that you can do to learn because it's like not necessarily low stakes. I feel like it's always high stakes, but it's a good introduction to kind of be off on the side and see how a set works for the first time.
Hmm.
Um, I also want to say, like you pointed out with your with Ellie who helped you, like I want to kind of expand on the importance of community when it comes to, film, when it comes to acting. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's really, really important. Like, if you go on my page, I may not have like hundred thousands of followers, but the followers that I do have, they're very important. Connecting is very, very important. Networking is very important. 90% of the jobs that I have gotten, acting, stunts, and film, like production, AD, producing, all of that has came 90% by who I have just met or who's recommended me on this
Mm-hmm.
set, who's talked about me here in this room, and then they were like, oh yeah, let's see what he can do. uh I have a resume, but I really don't send it around anymore because it's like it's really about who you know. So that's why I always tell people, get out there, and it could be the smallest job, but you never know who that person is that is working on that small
Yeah.
job that will be able to bring you onto another set. So like how I got started with AD work. His name is Norman. I was working a student film, and I was like just doing PA work. I was like, okay, I'm just doing this to get a couple hours. Like this is gonna be nothing. But I didn't know he was part of the DGA and
Yeah.
PGA, and he started training me after that. And now look at me. He's trained me up into being a really great first AD and producer. So I would say it's very, very important. Make sure you get out there and connect and go to them free networking events. Chicago has a lot of them.
Yeah.
Chicago has a lot of free networking events.
Yeah. I also think it's so important, as a young artist to also take the chances that are given to you. I think sometimes there can be like an issue of pride where it's like, no, 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 I want to do it myself. And then they don't see the opportunities that are coming to them
Hmm.
as well. So I'm so glad that you networked and took all those opportunities to be the wonderful person you are today. I kind of want to talk about, your creative process when it comes to acting. Do you have like certain superstitions or certain ways that you get into character?
So it may not seem like it because I host a lot of events, and like as an AD, you're the main person yelling, screaming. Everyone has to know who you are. You have to talk to everyone. But I'm a very, very shy and nervous person when it comes down to talking. Like even for this, I was like, okay, I got this.
You
So
got this. You're so good.
I'm a very nervous and shy person, whether it's one person or 100,000 people in a room. So something one of my friends taught me like not too long ago, something that I actually just started incorporating is I take a deep breath, I close my eyes, and then I pretty much let me see if you can see it. So I take a deep breath, and then I pretty much tap this, do like this with my eyes closed, and then I'll just keep doing this while I'm breathing. And then it just relaxes my mind and it just relaxes me. And then right before I just breathe, and when they call in action, I open my eyes, and then it's time to really go for it.
Yeah.
But before I really get on set, it's one of those. I used to be the person that has to. I gotta study, gotta study, gotta study. I need to know these lines front to back, front to back. I cannot miss a line. And when you do that, you become repetitive, and so you start saying the lines that same exact way, no matter what. It's like ABC, ABC, ABC. If I keep saying that way, whenever anyone else asks me, I'm going to say it that same exact way. So it was like whenever the director I get to set, it was one of those I wasn't really directable,
Hmm.
because I was stuck in a way of just doing it because I was just doing it repetitive. So my agent Michelle Hayes actually taught me this. She just pretty much told me like, study it, learn it, but learn it to forget it.
Yeah.
I was like, what does that mean? Everyone keeps saying that, learn it to forget it. If I forget it, how am I going to remember it? But it's like pretty much second nature. So it's like when you walk in a room, if someone's about to swing on you, what do you automatically do? You jump. So it's like second nature. It will come naturally if it's in the scene because you have already studied it. So your mind, you forget it, so you don't want to get stuck in a way. But when it's actually time and we're actually acting out the scene, it automatically turn on. It actually just come out naturally instead of it seeming like it's forced or like you're thinking of it or you're remembering it or you're saying it or you're waiting to say your next line. That's like one of the biggest things that you can see on camera is like someone just sitting there waiting to say their next line. Is one of those where it's like, okay, you really just listening to what they're saying in the scene versus listening but still waiting and you're actually listening, taking it in. So I hope I answered
No,
the
you
question.
definitely did. One of like the earliest things that I also went to acting school a million years ago, but like acting is reacting. That's why I think like for me, improv was one of the things that like helped me a lot with that. And it was so like hard, the whole like yes and thing. Did you ever, when you were taking acting classes and doing these exercises, did you ever find that like improv was helpful to you at all?
Almost definitely,
Yeah.
because nowadays it's very, very helpful. You never know when the director's just like, "Hey, I want to see you ad lib this," because nowadays a lot of directors are the writers,
Mm-hmm.
especially for independent film. So, and here in the Midwest, we're really known for independent film. So it's like the directors are most likely the writers, and they're most likely the producers. So it's like they're going to most likely just ask you, hey, okay, so this time I want you to ad lib this. I want you to be a little bit more free. So that's a really good way that I utilize my improv there. And just because I'm the type of person, when I'm acting, everything, I pretty much, entertainment is my full life. So whenever I walk out the house, I'm absorbing everything from everyone and mimicking them and looking at them just so I can always try to become that person in a way, if that makes
It
sense.
does make sense. Oh, it's so cool. What advice do you have for people who are trying to get into acting?
Take acting classes, get headshots and professional headshots. When I say get headshots, I don't mean how I'm looking right now. No, this would not be ready for a headshot. Like, take this off my head. Like, be camera ready. Don't have anything, no sunglasses blocking your eyes. Don't have your hair or a hat on your head. Don't have something facing towards the back. Like, be ready. Look up professional headshots. They're everywhere. There's so many people, especially here in the Midwest, that can take headshots nowadays. If you need a headshot right away, you can take it on an iPhone, pretty much. Like just go portrait mode, make sure you have a solid background. But take headshots. Headshots are very, very important. Look up acting classes. If you're not able to afford them, look up Wendy Elaine Wright. I see William Jefferson in the call in the chat. William Jefferson of the Actor Advisory. He has getting over 300 clients with agents. So like really reach out to these people. Really take these classes and really take it serious. Is one thing about it is yes, it's going to be hard. It's very cutthroat. However, get out there. And a lot of people, before you try to go out there, before you try to become a big known actor, go on a set as an extra. If there's no shade or nothing to being an extra at all. Like you will get paid. Extras make actually decent money. You will most likely work one of the longest hours on set out of all of the talent because and so you'll be able to absorb so much and actually see everything, and who knows, you may actually find out you want to become a DP, you want to become a gaffer, or you may want to bump up next week and become a stand-in or a featured person, or like it's like so many different things to it. So really just take these classes and really get out there and really don't stop. Like you're gonna get a lot of no's. I just got a no yesterday from an audition. So it's like you're gonna get a lot of no's.
Yeah.
However, don't stop and really get out out there after it and absorb everything. Whenever you hear a director talking to an actor, really absorb it and listen to what they're saying so that when it's your time and it's your turn, you already know, oh, well, I learned that on this set. I was listening when the director did this, or it's time for an audition. Oh, so this is what the director meant when it's time to bring it in, slow it down. Even though I'm supposed to raise my voice, I don't always have to raise my voice. I can do it with my facial expressions. Don't do too much moving my eyeballs because the camera picks up everything. So it's like so much that you really absorb and you just got to learn and really implement it.
Yeah, especially when being an extra, it's like a master class that you get paid for.
Yes.
Like, why not take it, you know? Um,
And then you get to learn so much. You're not just learning from a workshop or a class, you're learning right there, hands on. That's why also take demo reel workshops. Do demo reel workshops. There's so many people out there that does them. Um, do demo reel workshops so that you can use this footage to submit to an agent so that you can have your agent submit you to other projects and then hopefully become Union and Taft Hartley.
Absolutely. I kind of want to know, like, do you remember any of like the earliest films that you watched as a kid, or even like a little bit older, that really resonated with you and kind of catapulted you into acting?
Home Alone.
Home Alone, yes.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, me and my family, we used to every year we always watched Home Alone, and then like my mind's going blank, but there's so many Christmas holiday movies that we watch every year. But Home Alone was the movie for me. It's still like my favorite movie to this day. And then when my mom told me, yeah, they filmed that in Chicago, and I was like young, I was like, oh my God, if they do this and they do a black kid version, oh, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I could be him. I can be him. And so that always made me, I was like, when I'm gonna be ready, whenever they come back, I'm gonna be ready. And then when I was younger, Disney used to do like this big open casting call, and they used to go like nationwide, and they always hit Chicago. And I was born and raised in like Gary, Indiana, and so we used to like my mom. I was like, I don't care. I'm not going to school. Um, you're not taking me. Okay, grandma gonna take me. No, somebody's taking me. I will take this bus if I need. I'm going. So Home Alone was just the movie for me. It was like, I want to do this. If another movie come to Chicago, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Little did I know they had so many other movies that was actually filming there right then and there.
Yeah, like Batman too.
Yeah.
Um, it's also cool that you said Home Alone because that movie has so many stunts, and I know that you're a stunt man as well. Did that
Yes.
movie inspire you when it came to like stunts at all, or is there another movie that really inspired you when it came to doing stunt performing?
Um, Stunts actually came out the blue. My character on The Shy, I actually ended up having to do a stunt as well, and I had just turned 18. We literally was filming on my 18th birthday. And the stunt coordinator was like, "We got a stunt double for you, but you're 18. Did you want to do it? Did you want to try it?" And I was like, yeah." And he was like, the part that really got me is he was like, stunt people, they get stunt adjustments. His name is Chris Nolte. I love him to
Mhm.
this day. Stunt coordinator here in Chicago. Look him up if anyone wants to get started with doing stunts. The man is the man. Uh, but yeah, he was like, so you're gonna swing like this, you're gonna do like this, but really, really sell it was teaching me, and I fell in love with it right then and there. I was like, oh my gosh! And then when I got my check, this is when I had just became part of the union. I was like, oh wait, this is how much we get paid. And then I seen the sun adjustment. I was like, oh wait, this is how much they get paid. Oh yeah. Stunts is where it's at. And then I started training with them, and no shade to no other department on set.
Mhm.
Stunts department is never lacking.
Yeah.
Every set I've ever went on, stunt department is the best department that's ran. So it was like I took and I learned so much from stunts into acting, so much from stunts into being a AD, and so much from stunts into being a a producer, and so I utilize stunts pretty much to feed into everything because as a stunt person, you work with every single department. You're speaking with the director, you're speaking with the actor that you're doubling, you're speaking with the camera people so that you make sure that you get it right. You're speaking with the stunt coordinator, you're speaking with the extras to make sure that if there's extras in the scene, you're speaking with art department if there's props and things of that sort. So you have to literally speak with every single department. And so I truly, truly like fell in love with stunts ever since then. And then made me fall even more in love with it is when I noticed that they were very organized. They had their stuff together. Stunts was where it was at. I was like, oh yeah, I love this. I love
Yeah,
stunts.
and
That's
I'm
how
kind
it's
of
just going.
thinking about to like nerd out a little bit. I what I'm thinking about like it's my dream to be an AD as well. And like I'm thinking about like just the way when it comes to scheduling, like it must be a gift to understand, acting and art and stunt when it comes to like how a film is going to be made. Like you come with it with so much knowledge that I really admire that. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Um, I also wanted to ask, is there any actors that really inspire you?
Woo, where do I start?
It could be a long list.
Uh,
We could do that for the rest of the
so,
interview.
of course, I love me some Taraji P. Henson. That's my girl. Harry Lennox, love watching him. He's a phenomenal actor. Queen Latifah to the day I die. Love me some Queen Latifah. That's my girl. That's my girl right there. Uh, Courtney Vance, Angela Bassett's husband, and Angela Bassett, both of them, Denzel Washington. Those are some of the like greats, like some of my all-time favorites right there. They all inspired me out of everyone. Martin Lawrence, my family used to be like, "Oh, you look like him, you act like him." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna become him. I'm gonna get my own show. They're gonna name it after me too." So I love me some Martin Lawrence, and I love how he was able to really just get out there and become different characters. He wasn't afraid to become other people. He was just such a comedian. He just really loved incorporating comedy into everything, and so I just love that. I was like, I could never become a comedy actor or become a comedian, but I love that. That really inspired me that he was able
Yeah.
to. And people said that we looked alike when I was younger, so I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
I love that. So, in addition to being an actor, we already talked about it. You're also, assistant director, a second, an executive producer. Do you think it's very important, coming from acting and also doing all these roles to like wear different hats in order to kind of figure out, what you love and what you're passionate about in filmmaking?
Honestly, yeah, because even though acting was what I was always wanted to do, it's something that what I will always do. However, producing is my passion. And I would never know that unless if I branched out to become a PA, to become an AD, to become a producer. So I would never know that if I never would have branched out and tried. So I always tell people really get out there, really try different areas as well. And as well, if you want to become a director, no matter what, if you want to become a director, I always tell people take acting classes,
Mm-hmm.
take PA classes so that you know about scheduling because the best directors to me they know about scheduling, they know how to speak, and they know how to pretty much you may not actually know how to act, but if you take that acting class you know how to speak with your actors, you know how to translate into the acting terms from your directing terms. They don't know what a shot is. A lot of actors don't know what specific shots is, and you're like a POV. What is that? Huh? I remember my first time acting. I was like, a POV? POV, what is that? What's that? And they were like, no, that's a POV. And so really take those classes so that you're able to learn and know. And so really try to branch out a little bit out of your wings so that you also know how to work with other departments if it's not necessarily your department, especially if you're going to try to go to be a department head is very important because overall out of everything that I do, I run a production company called Miss Turns Production. And so we have a couple of different networks that we're in a conversation with. about a couple different things. So overall, that is what I do. And so I always tell people before I got to this place where I am with running a production company, I learned so many different things. I never wanted to become a gaffer, but yes, I gripped for a day. I was, it was not for me. I found that out right then and there. I found out that was not for me. I tried to be a second AC intern. It was not for me. I like the shots. I like talking about them, but do I like the cameras and the lenses? No, that's glass. Glass on the move is not for me. I don't want to do it. And so I really branched out and I really tried to learn these different things. So I always tell people just try it. At the end of the day, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You're getting paid for it. Like, okay.
Mhm.
So just try it. And even if you're not always able to get paid for it, I always tell people the biggest the biggest thing that you could take away from a set is a new lesson. I'm learning something new on a set every time I walk on a set. And I have worked on so many different sets and won awards and things like that for this. It's just like I'm always learning something new. And I learned the most things on an independent set, believe it or not. Like, that's where I learned the most is on the independent sets versus the network sets.
Yeah. Do you think it's because, they're working with such a smaller budget that they're trying to make things work? You know, I, I, I don't I don't know how to state this. Like they're trying to make things work with like a smaller budget, and so they're kind of inventors in a
I
way. Is
do.
that why?
I
Yeah.
do. It is exactly like that. You're dealing with way smaller of a budget. So you're inventing ways on how to get this shot if you don't have a steady cam shot. I mean, if you got a steady cam or a dolly shot, but you don't have either or, how are you going to get this? Okay, put this on this chair and push this here.
Oh,
So it's
really?
like there's so many different ways. And you're always, as a producer, you want your sets to always be ran to a certain caliber.
Mhm.
For myself, for instance, I know I do. So even if it's the lowest budget, I still want people to come onto that set and feel like they just worked a Disney Plus or a Tyler Perry movie set. Like, oh my God, these people treated me like angels. The gear was beautiful. This was amazing. I always want people, whether it's the biggest or the smallest, to always feel like they just worked on the biggest set.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I think that's fantastic. You made me laugh when you said like, you want a shaky cam, attach it to attach it to a chair. We one film that I worked on, we attached the camera to a 2x4, and two people were running with it so that we could chat. And I was like, you know what? When there's a will, there's a way. You got to get it done. You have a slow mo.
Literally,
Uh,
if there is a will, there's a way. That is why there is no industry like the entertainment industry. When I
yeah,
say movie magic, yes, movie, there's magic in there.
yeah.
We're making magic.
No, it's super special. I kind of wanted to also talk about, I wanted to congratulate you on your film Rudy, getting accepted to the XL Film Festival. I kind of want you to talk about the film a little bit and also talk about the film festival and that opportunity.
Yes, so Rudy is actually an Afro surrealism. So pretty much it's focused on Rudy, the main character. He pretty much is living a life and he has the powers of manifestation.
Mhm.
And so when he is speaking it into whatever he speaks into existence, pretty much he can manifest it, whether it's good or bad, and he manifests something pretty much of the wrong nature and says on the phone call one day that he wants to give up and die, and boom, later on that day he's shot, and then he manifests a wheelchair that pretty much helps him out. And so we see the wheelchair in his reality, but in his fantasy, but in real reality, we don't know why. We just see him floating and we're like, how, why? But he's manifesting it. So pretty much that's where it was. And this is my second year with the XL Film Festival. I This year I took on a little bit bigger of a role. So last year I had my project The Come Up screen there, and we'll actually be releasing that November 4th on YouTube. This will be the one of three projects that will be released for free. After that, we have things that we can't discuss just yet, but it'll be
We'll wait.
coming out. So one of three. So we are really trying to push people to go see them so that people can actually see what we do and bring them onto our sets. while we're still doing this. And so this year, Rudy got accepted. Um, but outside of those two being accepted, I also got to produce and host the red carpet event at the XL Film Festival, founded by Troy Pryor of Creative Cipher, and it was amazing. I got to interview literally every celebrity that walked through the building, everyone that was on panel. I got to interview every single one. One of the ones that really stuck out to me was the women in business. They really like discussed on like staying firm, especially with being a woman in the entertainment industry. People are saying, oh, she is really good, especially for a woman, or she's really good, especially for this. So it's like it always is not, especially for a woman, because you guarantee if you throw Angel Bassett in there versus one of these other men, let's see who can hold their
Yeah.
weight. So I really loved watching them. They dropped a lot of gems, especially on like staying fast, and a lot of thing that a lot of people has been saying lately is no's, and that life has just been lifing, and that is something that has been very true. Life has just been lifing, and a lot of no's has been happening in the industry now compared to how it was even 4 or 5 years ago. It's completely different due to COVID, due to the strikes, and due to so many different networks and things expanding and um, buying up other companies and things of that sort. So the industry is changing so much. So it's like it is on a whim. You do got to change on. You do got to change on the fly. So it is so much with it. However, yes, XL Film Festival is one of the greatest things that has happened to Chicago for film. It is showcasing films from all over, especially here in Chicago. I actually was awarded $5,000 from the XL Film Festival to go towards Rudy, that helped us fund Rudy, because myself, Troy Pryor, and then we ended up having a GoFundMe. We all funded it, and it became a beautiful thing. It is very, very beautiful. We are planning on having another screening of it soon, so everyone can stay posted about that very, very soon. And then, yeah, I want to know. You've been asking me so many questions. Is it okay if I ask you a question?
Sure. Oh my gosh, no one's done that yet. Sure.
So, what is your overall thing that you want to do in this
Oh,
industry?
you're so sweet. So right now I'm a directing BFA at Columbia College Chicago. So I started in acting and now I'm in directing. So right now I'm directing my thesis, Appealing Me, which is a body horror queer film, for Columbia. I filmed that in November. But what I'm doing now, I kind of through Columbia do a mix of things. So I've been a casting director, I've been a producer before, I've also been a production designer. So I like to, while I'm at school, I'm like, let me try as many things as I can. But I'm going actually next semester to a semester in LA program through Columbia. So right now I'm actually looking at agencies because I feel like that'll be really beneficial to kind of see the more, I don't know, office side and more like management side of a lot of like actors and directors. I just kind of want to dip my toe in that. But I'm also really looking into kind of production work as well as ADing because I've always wanted to AD. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. It's a lot. I think just right now while I'm young and getting done with school, I just want to try as much as I can, especially in film wise, because I'm just in love with it. But yeah, that's me.
Okay.
It's me.
Okay, okay. Well, I will most definitely. Well, you got my Instagram. It's all over here, so let's most definitely connect. I have a couple other
Please.
projects that I have coming up, and I love giving people opportunities. Um, I didn't have paid opportunities coming up, so I always make sure everyone gets paid at least something. Working on my sets, that's just something I love doing. It just shows that I care in a certain type of way. So if I got it, I'm gonna give it and I'm gonna have it. So I will make sure that you get paid. And I want to see what you're about. I want to see what
Oh,
you're about.
thank
Like,
you.
that's what we're here for, is to create opportunities for other people and give it to other people. So you We're gonna connect after this.
Please.
We're gonna connect.
I would
Yes,
love to be
yes.
like a PA, anything. I also do audio, so anything.
Okay,
Like
okay,
really,
that's
I would do
good. You
anything.
see, you learn so many different positions. So now, who knows? Maybe I'm on set one day and I got you hired as a PA, and I'm like, okay, I'm stepping off. I need you to take over the con. I know you know how long sound takes to get ready. I know how long
Yeah.
you know all these different departments. So, okay, yeah,
Thank
let's
you.
connect. Let's connect.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
I gotta come down from that. Here we go. Okay, back to the interview. I also wanted to talk about you got nominated for a Black Excellence Award back in 2023. I want to talk to you about like how important is representation and like uplifting, communities and organizations and opportunities that, uplift Black excellence. I want to know a little bit about that.
Yes. So that was very. I was very nervous. I was very very nervous for that. Uh, just especially, I was already nervous getting the nomination, then getting the email. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow. I'm personally, because I have been nominated, me and the company, for other things, but I was never nominated individually for something. So I was like, oh my gosh. I was freaking out. But I found that it is very, very important because I used to support other things of that sort, but I noticed that actually being there, actually just tuning in, just sharing something, it goes a long, long way. Because it's very important because you never know who you're going to meet there. I met one of my closest friends now to this day at the award show, and I would never known if I just was like, okay, well, I know I'm not going to win, and I just don't go. But no, I still knew that even if I win or lose, I still want to support this. And with me doing that, I ended up finding one of my closest friends, and boom, he just won another Emmy. So now he's a three-time Emmy award-winning producer and director. So it's like, uh, it's so many different things that I always tell people: just get out there and go. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know, even outside of. Don't go there always looking for a blessing. Sometimes go there looking to bless someone, and that's how you're going to get your blessing.
Mhm.
That is something that I always tell people because at a lot of these nonprofit events, even though I'm going there to bless people, somehow, some way, I get blessed in the end. So I always tell people is like, go out there, support these things, and when you're supporting these things, you will find so much information. You will hear so many different conversations. And overall, everyone loves to hear it and everyone loves it as money. There will be so much money in the room. You just have to get out there and go for it. I always tell people, you say you want to be an EP, you say you're looking for investors for your project, but you're not getting out there to those networking events. You're not getting out there to these free events that are going on, Lorenz Tate, Kiki Palmer. They're having a financial summit. So many people are. I've been sent it. I've been sent it, sending it around. Troy Pryor been sending it around. It's like that's free. They're going to tell you on ways on how to get funds and invest in funds and get funds from investors so that you can put towards your projects and things of that sort. Go out there and listen to those people. There's going to be other people off the panels that actually work for these companies. I go to so many different events of these, and I'm like, people that when they see me, some of them know I used to be the CEO of a film studio. So it's like they'll come up to me and they'll ask me questions, and it's like someone else over here, and that person would never have gotten the information to their questions if they weren't there. So it's very, very important to get out there to those events. And shoot, one day when you're nominated, you want people there. You want people there to scream and shout your name. So it's very important to go out there and just support the community, especially the African American community. A lot of people don't understand is if you really want something done, the reason why Louis Carr, the president of BET, is still the number one salesperson for networks and everything is because he has the African American dollars. The African Americans will spend the money if it is spent on something very well. Get out there and invest in us because once you invest in us, African American love investing back. Like we're going to watch the movies. We're going to eat some food. We're going to watch, we're going to play some games. Like, we're going to enjoy ourselves. So it's like, really go out there and really invest in it, because when you go out there trying to give a blessing, you will most likely get a blessing.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope I wasn't just rambling on too much for y'all.
No, it's perfect. It kind of reminds me, like, I've been really invested in Ava DuVernay's nonprofit Array. And like they did for her movie Origin that came out recently, they did something called Sweet, it's not called Sweet 16, it's called Seat 16, which like everybody that wanted to see the movie that didn't have enough money and that was 16 years old, like they were able to get like a ticket for free, or that somebody would buy a ticket and they would get a ticket for free. Like it's so important to have, representation in film so that, the film love can grow, so more people can access film. Anyway, I will start a rant or start talking and talking and talking. Anyway, going off of nonprofits, you also have a nonprofit. I kind of want to hear a little bit more about that. Like, share a little bit about that.
Yes, so it is called Empower the Color, meaning no matter what color you are, no matter who you are, we're here to empower you. We love just giving back. We love just being here for the community. Like I told you, I was born and raised in Gary, Indiana. When I was there, we really didn't have nothing. They really don't have nothing even now. So it's like, I really want to give back. I really want to give. There's so much talent there. There's so much talent here in Chicago. And my mom I grew up a single, like, mother, single household parent, pretty much. And it was just my mom in the household. And so whenever we like struggled, I really hated it. And so whenever I'm out and I see like a family or a lady struggling, like, it just don't sit right with me. So I always was like, okay, you know what? We're gonna do something. We're gonna get something together so that we're able to help these different people. If we got it, they should have it. If it's just right. And so I ended up starting my nonprofit, and someone who has really mentored me and guided me this far, because I did not know it was nonprofit work was just so chaotic, and it was just so much really with it and so much really to it. Um is Michael Earhart of Taste for the Homeless. Like, we do a big festival every year. It's called Taste for the Homeless Festival. There's a summer festival and then there's a winter festival. Each year we get between 2,000 to 5,000 people, and we give away free clothes, shoes, socks, underwears, toys, food. We have like D-Lo. I seen he was on here. He's a friend of mine as well. He was on last week,
Yeah.
I believe. He comes out, performs for the kids. Chance the Rapper helped out one year. He came out, performed. Taylor Bennett, his brother. So we have different artists stop by, put on for the community, and it's all free for the community, and it's open to the public. And so we also have different shelters that bus the people there to help them. And so it's just really about connecting the community all together in one place for one good thing. And at the end of the day, there's no reason, there should be no fighting there. There should be no arguing. There should be none of that, because at the end of the day, we have enough. You're going to get it. Everything's free. So that's like the biggest thing that I love, is just like knowing that at the end of the day, there's not going to be a shortage. There's not going to be a big fight or a big chaos at the end of the day, because no, you don't got EBT, or no, you don't got this, or no, you can't afford that, or no, we just ran out of it. No, we usually have enough of it, and it's just really nice giving it back to the people, just seeing their faces, knowing that they're happy, knowing that they're able to take something else away from this is it's really heartwarming. So I got to give a huge shout out to Michael Earhart on that, because he has stayed on my butt about it and made sure. So he has really helped me a long way and really inspired me, even days where I didn't want to get up. He's out there every single day on the streets giving away free food. So it's like, okay, if he could do it every day, I could get up at least once a day and go do it. I mean, once a year and go do it. So,
No, exactly. Oh, I think that's fantastic. Um, to kind of go next. Oh, I wanted to ask you what advice you want to give people who are interested in going into stunt performing.
ooh, if you want to go into stunt performing,
Mm-hmm.
always make sure that you're honest with yourself, meaning if you get called in for a stunt by a stunt coordinator and they ask you to do, if you can do something, they will always ask you beforehand and they say, do you feel like you can do it, and are you, will it be safe, like do you feel safe doing this? And if you honestly don't think you can do it, be honest with them.
Hmm.
It's okay to miss out an opportunity, because you missing out on that opportunity may save your life. Because there's a difference in acting, and then there's a difference in doing the stunts. Uh, that stunt can seem very small or it can be very big, but that can be, one wrong move can either be life or death. So always make sure you're true and honest with yourself. That's the first thing. And then other than that, you can't be lazy. And you cannot be lazy working in stunts. If the stunt coordinator on his feet, you're on your feet. Pretty much. It's like, if stunts is, we don't wait on stunts. You shouldn't have to wait on stunts, because stunts are usually always ready. And if the stunt person is not ready, the stunt coordinator will most likely not hire you anymore. They will go on to the next person. That's why stunts is like the military out of each department. So I will tell them, you have to come ready. You have to be very on time. You have to be very efficient, and you have to be one of the people who's not going to play and goof off and actually take it serious. And you have to be a little, you have to have, you don't have to be the fittest person, but you do have to get in the gym a little bit. You will have to get a little stamina, because you may know how to fight, you may know how to run, you may know how to swim, but can you do it a 30 times in different 30 different takes? Five different camera angles. Can you do it then? That is the question. So you gotta have good stamina. You could throw a punch and you could take a hit to the ground, but can you take a hit to the ground 30 times, 10 times from different camera angles?
Fantastic. I do want to ask too, like, do you get nervous before a stunt at all? Or are you like, okay? Because I was like, I would be terrified.
Heck yeah. I'd be like, okay, I usually make a joke right before I do a stunt with someone. I'm like, okay, don't hit me. Or, okay, come on, let's not legit break a leg.
Uh-huh.
Like, let's do this. But yes, I'm very nervous, especially on some gigs lately. I got the fighting and things down, but now they've been throwing me more into doing more complex type of stunts. So I'm doing like, I'm shooting and then I'll be throwing the gun and then grabbing someone and slinging them, and so it's like a little combat to it. And so I've been a little bit more nervous because with doing those things, because it's like, especially if it's one of those where it's a one take wonder, you got to get it right in the first shot, because there's so much going on. So they have to get this all in the wide before they could punch in, and this is the one that they're going to use. So you cannot mess up. Yeah, I mean, okay,
It's
here
a
we
lot
go.
of pressure on you too. Have you ever done anything with explosions before?
Yes.
You have? Oh
Chicago
wow.
Fire was beautiful. It was so fun. I do not remember which episode exactly, but it is on my
Mhm.
page. It was so fun. We got to explode uh Rick Lefevre. He was the stunt coordinator, and we blew up a like a laundromat. And it was like 3 o'clock in the morning somewhere. We were somewhere in Chicago, like in the skirts of the burbs, and we blew up this old laundromat, and like it was a huge fucking explosion. It was a huge explosion, and like I had to like jump out of the window, and then I was on fire, and they had to drag me through the fire. It was so fun. But yes, that was so fun. That was fun.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I wish I was there. That would have been so cool. Oh, I also wanted to shout out, you have like a very excellent sense of style. And I wanted to know, like, I saw your Instagram and I was like, you know, fashion. I want to know, like, how has fashion, inspired you throughout your career?
Um, Fashion. I used to be one of those type of people when I was younger. I was like, okay, I like to dress nice. However, when I walked on the set, my very first time, I was like, oh, people gonna know me. I'm gonna look the best. I'm gonna look like a celebrity. I was an extra, so I was like, even though I'm an extra, they gotta think I'm the cast member. I gotta look fly. And then I had on some shades, and that's what made Ellie catch. I think that's what like caught her attention. I'm not sure, but in my mind, that's what I say. So I'm like, oh, the shades is what caught Ellie's attention. So every time I step out the house, and it also makes me feel good. Like overall, that's like the biggest thing is when I step out the house, it makes me feel good when I look good.
Mm-hmm.
But I also was like, these people remember me by the way I look.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, you dressed really nice." My name is super long and super confusing. They're like, LaTaryion." I'm like, "It's LaTaryion or LT," and so people usually forget that. So I'm like, when I walk in the room, the shades and the fit, they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, you were stylish. Your name's like LT, right?" I'm like, "There we go,
There we
there
go.
we go." So the style really came from feeling good and making sure that when I walk in the room, I try to look the flyest person so that everybody can always remember, oh yeah, he was the flyest person in the room. I remember him.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. I also want to ask, what is something that you try to bring, like you uniquely bring to every set that you work on?
Um, Fun. I like to have fun. I like to be joyful. I like to say weird, corny, quirky things over the radio. We're going to enjoy the set because overall, that is why a person joins the entertainment industry
Mm-hmm.
because they want to have fun. They think it's fun. So I don't want to be one of those sets. Like a lot of times, yes, sometimes it is a moment where it calls for the mood to be very mellow and down. However, if it does not call for that, then yes, let's enjoy the set. Let's talk. Let's laugh a little bit. So I always try to bring that excitement, but I always bring that sternness. So whether you're down or whether you're upset, you can always come to me because I'm going to be that person that cheers you up, but I'm also going to be that person that keeps you straight and
Mm-hmm.
narrow.
Fantastic. I got lucky enough. I got to be on set this morning for one of the thesis films for Columbia. I was a 911 call for art. They needed somebody, and it's just so fun because they're like some of the best people work on film. Maybe I'm just used to film people, so I love them too much. But like somebody had like one of those Build-A-Bears, and they put their walkie inside the Build-A-Bear because they dressed the Build-A-Bear like them, and I'm like, these are the goofiest people. But they just
Yeah,
make it fun because you're there for like ten hours. Like you might as well have fun with it.
I always tell people production sometimes has to take a chill pill.
Mm,
That's what I noticed. That's why I try to be so fun a lot of times, but still stern because G&E and camera, they're at their trucks. They're gonna be
yeah,
enjoying themselves as they're packing up, unloading. They're making jokes. They got a radio sometimes. They make they dress. They sometimes like the gaffer or the DP will say like, "Hey everyone, the theme today is we're all dressing like this." So
yeah.
I noticed I was like, okay, yeah, production, we gotta step it up. We gotta step it up.
Hmm.
So after that, yeah, I worked on a set called Pools, and I was the first AD. Originally, got hired on as the additional first AD just for one day, and they ended up keeping me for the entire set. I loved it. But yeah, I was like, dang, come on now. Like, come on, y'all. We got this. We got this. But yeah.
No, it's cool. I think our theme today was dressed like a film bro. And so everybody had like their backwards caps and their Star Wars t-shirts, and I was like, this is everything. One of our last questions, I want to know, what does ambitious mean to you?
Someone who is hungry, someone who is ready, someone who is willing to get up, get after it, and someone who is not willing to take no or stop.
Yeah, perfect. I also want to know, what do you want to be doing in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I look to have my film studio's location either built or halfway built by then. And I look to have at least three distribution deals by then.
Fantastic. do we have any like directorial features in your future at all? Would you ever want to go to like directing instead of AD?
Mm, I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I do like even the projects that if I'm a producer and AD for it, I more than likely helped out with
Mm-hmm.
directing it. It's just when you get the director title, I feel like you have to really earn it, and I feel I will always be so over the business and the financials and like the whole moving parts and scheduling that to actually sit down and hone in just on visuals. Oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. I'll be like, okay, wait, so how much is that going to cost us?
No, it's so hard to turn that side of the brain off.
It's
It's always like,
literally, it's
oh, I
like,
don't know if I want to do this because blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, no, it's your job, and we're gonna try to make that happen for you. It's impossible
yeah,
to turn.
so I love working with Vier. She's the director with Miss Turns
Mm-hmm.
Production. I love working with her. She directed The Come Up. She directed and wrote Rudy.
Wow.
Um, so I love working with her. She leaves me to the scheduling and all the logistics, and I leave her to all of the visuals, and then we come together and she says, well, I need more time here. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna combine these shots here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we work really well that way.
Fantastic.
But yeah, we're all like we all have our own departments at the company that we're really schooled for.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, we all have a say so like together. So that's like a big thing, partnership. You can't do it. Can't do it all in a film
No.
by yourself. You at least need one other person.
Yeah, it's all about teamwork. I also want to know, we kind of talked about it in the beginning, but do you have any kind of upcoming projects that you can share with us at all?
Yes, yes. So big steps. If you go on to Instagram, is big steps underscore short film. You guys can check out. We'll be posting stills and things of the sort on there. However, the big things is the come up
Mm-hmm.
is releasing November 4th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on YouTube only, and we will only be releasing it on YouTube for free. So everyone can check it out there. And if you want, if you're forgetting, you can tune in to ABC and WGN November 4th in the morning. Myself, Iriane Roach, who is the lead actress, Vier, the director, and Justin Burns, who is the writer, will be taking over the news channels, and we're also trying to take over some of the radio stations.
Oh, fantastic. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys so much luck and support for that time. We got
Thank you,
very
thank you.
excited. And then lastly, can you tell the people where to find you?
Yes, you can find me on all social medias at LaTaryion Perry. That is LaTaryion. Perry, Perry, on all social media. Um, Hit me up if y'all got any questions. If you want to work, I always like to throw people in. Just send me over some resumes, hit the DM. I've seen some people who I worked with on here. They can vouch for me. I will most definitely make sure you get paid decent and make sure that you get paid what you're worth. And if you don't know what you're doing, I'll train you. And if I don't know what to train you and how to train you in that department, I know someone that does. And so I will most definitely get you there. I would just like to leave with anyone who wants to become an actor, take demo reel workshops, get headshots, and yeah, don't stop. Stop taking those for an answer and actually get out there and take those classes.
Thank you so much, LT, for joining me today. It was such a pleasure to meet you and to interview you. I will definitely be DMing you. But thank you so much for joining us with Ambitious today. And thank
Thank
you,
you
everybody,
guys.
for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Have a good night.
for having
Of
me.
course.
See y'all.
Bye. Have a good night.